Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United fans versus the Glazers. Now yesterday, thousands of our fans broke inside Old Trafford and invaded the pitch to protest against the Glazers. Reflecting on that, the Man United and Liverpool game got postponed. It will be rescheduled, but no date has yet been confirmed. They climbed on goals, smashed equipment up, and there was throwing flares. Gary Neville has give his perception on it, and he blames the Glazers for the protests. A lot of them were outside the ground protesting. The other week, our fans were protesting against the Glazers at Carrington, and some of our fans blocked entrances into the Carrington training ground to protest. And there was banners saying MUFC 20, 51%, we decide when you play, and Glazers out. Solskjaer did say that the Glazers will not sell Manchester United. Before that, Solskjaer told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. The Red Knights have told the Glazers to sell Manchester United. Now, recently it's said that the Glazers are unlikely to sell Man United despite the protesting. The Glazers want £4 billion to sell the club. Not so long ago, the Glazers apologised over the European Super League plans. Joe Glazer released a statement with an apology. The Glazers bought Man United for $500 million back in 2005. The Glazers have been with us 16 years now. We get the Glazers out, it will be the right decision by the club, because I hate the way the football club has been run now for a long time. So we need to recommend new owners in. So there you go. So the game against Liverpool, I don't know when it's going to go ahead. Will it be sometime this week? Will it be next week? Will it be at the very end of the season? No. Or would the game not go ahead at all and we get points deducted off us and Liverpool get the 3 points? Don't see that happening, to be honest with you. Obviously, we've got to play Roma on Thursday in the second leg of the Europa League. Obviously, we've got Aston Villa in the league at the weekend. So, yeah. You obviously already know the news regarding Ed Woodward. Not so long ago, Ed Woodward's home was attacked by masked protesters. Got announced the other week that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman, and he will stand down at the end of the year. I presume all Man United fans were happy with the news regarding Ed Woodward, because we've been very critical of Ed Woodward for a long time. Main explanations is because Woodward hasn't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired. Our recruitment has been very poor, and we've overpaid for players in recent years, so that's why. And Woodward's had a 16-year association with the club. Ed Woodward, I think, will get to choose Manchester United's next chief executive. Says the other week there could be 5 candidates that Manchester United could be looking at to replace Ed Woodward, and it said that Edwin van der Sar was the favourite to replace him. If we recommended Edwin van der Sar in, I think it would be the right decision by the club, because Edwin van der Sar obviously knows the club through thick and thin. He endured 6 years at Manchester United as a goalkeeper. He was with us from 2005 to 2011. And he has got that experience, because he's currently the CEO at Ajax. And you've got to credit the work that Edwin van der Sar has done at Ajax. Now, you already know the news, don't you, on the transfers. You know, there's a lot of players that Manchester United are looking at. I recently give you the news on Pau Torres from Villarreal. Man United are very interested in signing him. We are aiming to complete the signing of Pau Torres before the European Championship begins. Says we are in advanced talks to sign Pau Torres. His release clause is 43.4 million. Villarreal want us to meet his release clause, but it said his release clause will rise up to over £56 million in the final 15 days of the summer transfer window. Earlier on this season, it said that Pau Torres was interested in coming to Man United, and Real Madrid's president Florentino Perez was angry with Man United for entering the race, because actually Real Madrid were emerged as the favourites to get Pau Torres. Would you take Pau Torres at Man United? Do you think he'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line? Pau Torres has not played in the Premier League yet. Do you think he'd exceed expectations in the Premier League? He's been at Villarreal a very, very long time. You know, risen up there. Youth set up. Been in their senior squad quite a while now. He's got a contract with Villarreal until 2024. Don't forget he did have a loan spell with Malaga. There's been quite a lot of news coming out regarding Jules Koundé recently from Sevilla, like he updated you on. He said that Real Madrid had entered the race for Koundé. Man United and Chelsea are also interested. Sevilla will accept around £52 million now. His release clause is £78 million. He's got a contract with Sevilla until 2024. Earlier on this season, it said that Sevilla wanted £68 million for Jules Koundé. But he said earlier on this season that we was prepared to pay around £61 million for him, and it said that we were emerged as the favourites to get him. I'd certainly take him at Manchester United because his performances for Sevilla this season have been good. You know, he's been at Sevilla almost 2 years. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux in the summer of 2019. Been a lot of centre-halves on our agenda. It did say a few weeks ago now, Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. But now, we may not even get a centre-half in, because not so long ago, Eric Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Obviously, Rafael Varane, we've been looking at him. The last time I read up regarding Rafael Varane, he said that Chelsea were the favourites to sign him. He said they are ahead of us and PSG in the race. And he says that Chelsea are prepared to pay Real Madrid's 61 million asking price. And Bill's Christian Falk said that Chelsea had entered the race. So it said that Chelsea are looking to hijack our move for the player. And not so long ago, it actually said that we ended our interest in Rafael Varane. But it said that we'd been handed a boost in our pursuit of Rafael Varane. Because it said that, Real Madrid were closing in on the signing of David Alaba. Reports from Spain said quite a few weeks ago now that Man United were in advanced talks to sign Rafael Varane. And it said we hope to lower Real Madrid's 61 million asking price. Rafael Varane's contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. His current contract with Real Madrid expires next year. Now, the Spanish transfer expert Eduardo Inda said earlier on this season that Rafael Varane could be on his way to Man United in the summer. Said earlier on this season that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Rafael Varane on one condition. He must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. Back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. I'd certainly take Rafael Varane at Man United because he's a world-class centre-half. He'd go very well alongside Maguire in our back line. He's highly experienced as well, and he's got a good pedigree behind him as a player. He's won like 18 major honours at Real Madrid. Made over 300 appearances. He's been long-serving at Real Madrid. He's endured 10 years with them. Real Madrid paid €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. You obviously know the news on Declan Rice. On my next video, I'll give you some more news on Jadon Sancho. But in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. Quite a few players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. David De Gea, Man United could still sell him in the summer transfer window. I think there's a lot of United fans, though, that believe it would be a mistake to get rid of David De Gea. I don't think it would be, because I reckon now he's had his years at Manchester United. He's endured, 10 years at the club. You can say De Gea's had, 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for us in all competitions. He's our second choice goalkeeper now, where Dean Henderson is our number 1. De Gea has 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. Now, earlier on this season, it said that De Gea had made his transfer decision. It said he's preparing to leave Man United, and it said we're set to pay off his huge contract. We'd set the price, it's £50 million, and there's quite a few clubs that are interested in him. I did mention that there's a very, very good chance he'll go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain. He began his footballing career in Spain, and back in 2015 he was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. So there you go. Sergio Romero, I'm also expecting us to offload him because he's like what, our third or fourth choice goalkeeper now. Phil Jones, I'm also expecting us to offload him because he's always been inconsistent. Plus he doesn't get in R11 and he has been out of injury for over a year. Phil Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. This is been his 10th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. Axel Tuanzebe, I think there's a good chance we'll offload him because he doesn't get in R11. You know, if we don't get rid of Tuanzebe permanently, I think there's a good chance we'll loan him out. Still young is Tuanzebe though, isn't he? He's had some good games at Man United. I recall one of his best games was the game against PSG. I think, yeah, it was. Diego Dalot, I'm expecting us to get rid of him permanently. You know, he's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. As you all know, Jesse Lingard wants a permanent move away from Man United. I think probably West Ham will end up getting him permanently because since he's gone out on loan to West Ham, he has done very, very well. Nemanja Matic, I'm expecting us to offload him in the summer transfer window because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances. But I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player. Analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been inconsistent, but he's been consistent in some games. I think the club made a mistake giving him that new 3-year contract before the start of this season. Yeah, we got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea, and Matic has been at the club now around 4 years. Alex Telles, I think there's a good chance that we're going to offload him. Calcio Mercato said not so long ago that, you know, Juventus are interested in him. Juventus are willing to offer Adrian Rabiot in a swap deal for Alex Telles. And it says Telles has decided to leave Manchester United. You know, he's played nowhere near as much as I expected. You know, when we got Telles last summer, I expected him to be our first choice left back immediately, but it hasn't happened. Got Telles in a deal worth 15.4 million from Porto. You obviously know the news regarding Paul Pogba. Now, he could still leave Man United in the summer transfer window. It's come out and said Man United will demand 80 million for Paul Pogba this summer. He says Man United will sell Paul Pogba if he doesn't sign a new contract. Man United are set to offer Paul Pogba a new deal worth £400,000 a week. Paul Pogba's demanding £500,000 a week. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United. He said earlier on this season he hopes he stays and signs a new contract, and he came out and said that Paul Pogba's future lies at Man United, and it said that our players would be devastated if the club decided to sell him in the summer transfer window. Mini Oriola's been talking a lot recently. You know, he come out and said recently that Paul Pogba wants to win trophies at Man United or another top European club. He did say though that Paul Pogba's future is still in doubt, and he recently spoke about a Eden Hazard and Paul Pogba swap deal. Mini Oriola, don't forget earlier on this season, criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson. He did also say he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. And he did say though he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season, and he did make an admission, Mini Oriola, saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. Because obviously Mini Oriola has been criticised a lot and he doesn't have a good relationship with Man United, and he made an announcement in December last year regarding Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement. He's had a long-running transfer saga, Pogba. He's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. Pogba enjoyed 4 very good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. PSG have been interested in him, and so too have Barcelona. We've been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months. He does bring creativity to the team. And recently we've been playing him in that more advanced role. We need to keep him in that advanced role because that's where he's more effective. Earlier on this season, Pogba had a thigh injury. He was out for a while. He was out for the first part of this season with an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. As it stands at the moment, he's our most expensive signing, paid 89 million for him, and this has been his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Juan Mata, I think there's a good chance that we'll offload him in the summer transfer window. I think his current contract expires next month. These and options trigger his contract for a further year. Juan Mata doesn't get in our 11. My element of concern about him, he's lost that yard of pace, and he's 34, 35 years of age now. Towards the start of this season, Juan Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. He's been at the club now over 6 years. I think he's had a good career at Man United. Got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial in the summer because he's no longer good enough to represent the club. We sell Martial in the summer. Transfer window, I reckon we'll get around £30 million. He's out of an injury now anyway. It's very, very likely he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Solskjaer did confirm that earlier on this season. The chances have been there for Martial throughout the course of this season, but he hasn't converted them. I think he's had 2 good seasons. He was good last season and he was good in his debut season under Van Gaal. He's been at the club now over 5 years. We got Martial in the deal worth 54 million from Monaco. Obviously, that there was add-ons included. And yeah, so obviously the players that we sell in the summer transfer window will generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. But there's a lot of players that will stay at Man United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Obviously, the news regarding Edinson Cavani. It's been very, very good news from a Man United perspective regarding Cavani, because it recently said that Cavani is close to agreeing a 1-year contract extension with Man United. He says Cavani has decided that he wants to stay at Man United in the summer, and it's expected to be official this week. Solskjaer did say not so long ago he's doing all he can to convince Edinson Cavani to stay at the club. Before that, he did say that Edinson Cavani's future has not 100% been decided. Not so long ago, Cavani had a meeting with Manchester United and he actually asked to leave Man United to join Boca Juniors. Roy Keane has actually said that he doesn't want Edinson Cavani to stay at Manchester United. He's actually explained why. But I want him to stay for next season. I presume a lot of United fans do, because he has made a fantastic impact since he has come in. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he is our best manager since Ferguson. He's not the long-term manager though for Manchester United, but I hope I'm proven wrong. Obviously, Solskjaer's been criticised a lot as Manchester United manager, and a lot of Man United fans have been demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the club. Obviously, they've got reasons behind why they've been demanding him out, but I presume there's still a lot of United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. You know, this has been his second full season at Man United. You know, he's been Man United manager now over 2 years. I said, you know, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season because he has made progress in quite a lot of aspects. Our board must think he's a long-term manager for Man United because earlier on this season it said that Solskjaer agreed a 3-year contract worth 30 million. You know, it said it's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. Solskjaer just has under a year left on his current 3-year contract. Solskjaer is aware of how big this year's summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. I'm expecting Man United to spend big in the summer transfer window, but earlier on this season Solskjaer did mention he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings, maybe 5 signings in the summer transfer window, and I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. Obviously Solskjaer wants good backing. I'm expecting him to get the backing he deserves because, like I've said before, we've got John Murtough. He's our director of football. Was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in, because I said it's one of the structural changes that we needed. Got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director, and Matt Judge, he's at Man United, and he's been part of the club though for a long time. We obviously know Woodward's announced his resignment, but he did say earlier on this season that he believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward, and he released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. And Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole, even when was enduring them really, really bad periods. But yeah, I can assure Solskjaer will get given at least another season because it's already been made clear he will not be sacked as Manchester United manager, even if we fail to win the Europa League. You know, the Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season. I think we'll win the Europa League now. You know, had a good win against Roma recently, beat them 6-2 in the semi-final first leg at Old Trafford. We were sensational in the second half of that game, but was very poor in the first half because we was trailing 2-1 at half-time. But yeah, we are now into the Europa League final. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first major final as Manchester United manager. He knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as United manager. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017. Solskjaer did say the other month that winning trophies can be an ego thing. We'll probably finish second in the Premier League this season. Solskjaer did say though, didn't he, earlier on this season that Man United will never ever give up on the Premier League title. You know, we haven't won the league since 2013, so that's 8 years ago now. Like I've said to you, I do have my concerns about Ole. You know, he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. His decision making also concerned me. So they are my 2 biggest concerns about him. But there's also a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer as well. You know, we've enjoyed very, very good periods under him. We're enjoying a good period at the moment. We are unbeaten in our last 7 games in all competitions. I like the way he has promoted the youth as well. We're second in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We're unbeaten in our last 24 Premier League away games. You know, Solskjaer's got us to the Europa League final, got us to the FA Cup quarters this season, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. You know, Solskjaer's made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent almost £300 million so far. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. You know, last season, his first full season, got us a third place finish, got us qualification for the Champions League and guided us to 3 semi-finals. Solskjaer as well has beaten quite a few big name managers as Manchester United manager. So yeah, they are the positives. So yeah. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.